Good Saturday morning, and welcome to Today in Putnam County. The show that's talking about all the great things happening in our community. I'm your host, County Mayor Randy Porter. We've got a great show today for you. Christmas is right around the corner, and if you're out today working on your Christmas shopping, I hope you'll take a break and be a part of the show. Lots to cover, so let's get started. My special guest today, Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Lots going on in Cookeville and Putnam County, but I wanted to start the show this morning talking a little bit about you. And born and raised in Cookeville and went to school in Putnam County. Give us a little history.
All right. Yes, this is my hometown. Born and raised here. Went to Cookeville High School. It was Putnam County High School at the time, and then Tennessee Tech University. Graduated from that, and our family had a business here in Shelton Wholesale Company, Shelton's Jewelry and Gifts, and operated that for a number of years. And then we were in a couple of different locations, Broad Street, and then over in Willow Tree Shopping Center, and then ended up over in as it started to redevelop, and had the store there for a number of years, and then closed that and decided to move on in life. Went into pharmaceutical sales, and I've been doing that now for I guess about 9 years, or 12 years actually. Been 12 years, and so yeah, it's been a great journey.
Most people don't know you have a day job.
Yes, exactly. I work AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals, which is an awesome company. I'm in diabetes sales. I drive 1,000 miles a week. My territory is Cookeville to Knoxville and everything in between. So, call them primary care and endocrinology and internal medicine doctors, and really enjoy doing that. I always say, they pay me really good to talk to people. That's really, really awesome. But it's gratifying because you're helping patients with a disease that needs help with.
Absolutely. And then having the time to be able to do the mayor's job. I absolutely, and I've told you this for the 4 years we've been together, working together since we were elected. I don't know how you do it, working that full-time job and trying then to be the mayor and do all the duties you do.
It's a lot. My father was in public service, a police chief and fire chief, and city manager and others, and so I grew up, seeing that and wanting to be a part of that in public service, and ran for office in 2002 and was elected to the council and served 2 terms, 2002 to 6 and 6 to 10, and rolled off and then ran again in 2014, and was fortunate to receive the most votes and became mayor. And it's a lot of work, but it's a labor of love, because I love our community, and it's been awesome to get to work with you, and the partnership that we had. When we were elected, we said we're going to do everything. We're going to do everything we can to make Cookeville and Putnam County the best it can be, and no egos, and that's exactly what we've done. I'm very proud of that.
I am too. The feelings are mutual. Your dad, for folks that may not know, McCoy Shelton. I knew McCoy before, because we called him Coy.
Right.
Knew him before I met you. Great public servant with all the duties that he fulfilled that you were talking about in the city government. Was there a point in your life that you decided that you wanted to be a public servant?
Yeah, I saw modeled what he did, and then just wanting to make a difference. But he never did it from a selfish standpoint of trying to take credit or anything. He was more of a behind the scenes kind of person, but I also got my work ethic from him, which is if it's worth doing, if it's worth doing right, and that's why it's very difficult for me to halfway. I can't halfway do anything, so I'm all in on whatever I do, and that becomes stressful and tiring, because we have a lot to do, and just being a part-time mayor, it's not really a part-time job now, especially at the size that we've gotten. Right. It truly is a full-time job, and it needs to be that at some point probably, but that's a whole nother discussion. But I've treated it like that, and I've been fortunate to have the freedom in my job to do that and still be able to do both jobs. And there's a lot of responsibilities as serving as mayor of a very growing town, as you well know.
Absolutely, and finding the time to do all that. When you ran for city council this last time, and Cookeville's election process is different than most cities. Most places the mayor is a separate position, voted on just solely as the mayor. Councilmen are voted on separately. When you ran for city council in 2014, did you have it in your mind that you might want to be mayor or
I
be
would
mayor?
like to. I mean, but I had no idea if I would even be reelected. I've been out of office for 4 years and was still involved in things that I was passionate about in the community. But ran again, didn't even know if I'd be elected. And honestly, I say all this all the time, but it was, God put me in that position, and I know that for a fact.
Right.
He's put me at this point, in this time in my life and in our city and county's life, to serve. And I don't think it's by chance that you and I are able to do it together, because you have the same mindset about that. And if we just step back and look at that and try to listen and what we're urged to do, and that's what we've kind of done, both of us, and I think our city and county has benefited from that.
Unbelievable. I've told this story to a lot of folks. I knew you were going to be mayor before you were mayor, and I think I've told you this story. We were out campaigning, had been to events that night, had left. I was the EMS 911 director at the time. I had left the building out on Willow and was driving down Willow going home. My wife and we looked up at a billboard. There is Ricky Shelton advertising for fireworks, bringing fireworks to Putnam County. I told my wife that moment, there's your next mayor of Cookeville. And the reason I said that is, you knew too, people were hungry for new events, things to bring to Cookeville and to Putnam County, that they could go to, the quality of life things. And you realized that early, I think, and that was a big thing, I think, that helped you get elected.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't anything that you sat down and wrote down on paper, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It was kind of like, literally, the 4th of July thing. My wife and I were sitting on our deck having coffee, and it was like July the 2nd or 3rd, and I was looking, I said, can you believe that there is no fireworks in Cookeville?
There used to be.
There used to be a long time ago, and she said, well, let's do something about that. And I said, I'm going to do that. And I made a post, and it kind of, at that time I didn't have that many, small amount of followers, when we first started out with that stuff, on a campaign page, and it started taking traction. And then when I went to there was a forum, and I brought that up, and everybody, that's the only thing that really anybody ever cheered about or talked about. I'm like, okay, well, this has, people care about this.
Yes. And
to your point, what you just said, as we started that, and we the first year, businesses bought into it. It takes public-private partnerships and everything, and we've been really good about being able to do that.
Right.
But once they did that, and the first one, again, I was so anal, I wanted to make sure it was right, and we had the slide came in, and it worked, and it did great. And we had a large fireworks show. It was one of the top, probably 5 or 6 in the state. And then the next, so we started the momentum of that, and now here we are. We've had 4. We're the 2nd largest fireworks show in Tennessee, and it's a partnership, city, county together, and multiple businesses that make that possible. But man, people are hungry for that, and then we've added other things, and I know you get these comments too, but that's one of the biggest comments we get is things for people to do in our community and their children and their families that they don't have to go to other communities for. And it's really the same thing that's been our success in the retail and the restaurants that have come too. Everyone doesn't like that we're growing. However, everyone likes the benefits of our growth. And the benefits of our growth are having places to eat and shop and do things here that you don't have to go to Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, Knoxville, or somewhere else for. And so, that's been great. Now, we've got challenges. We've got roads and infrastructure and all those kind of things, and we're working on those, and we've been working on those. But we'll continue to do that.
We're going to talk a lot more about that. You're listening today in Putnam County on News Talk 107.7 at 1400 The Hub. I'm Randy Porter, your host. Our guest this morning is Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton. We've got lots more to talk about with all the great things going on in Cookeville. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Executive Randy Porter, the show that's talking about all the great things happening in Putnam County. Hope you're having a great Saturday morning. Our guest this morning is Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton. We've been talking about all the great things happening in Cookeville. Mayor, let's talk about some of the Christmas events that are coming up.
Yes.
You started a tradition once you came into office with Christmas in the Park. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, be our 4th annual Christmas in the Park. So our big, it's 2 things. On Sunday, tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Dogwood Park, our tree lighting ceremony where we'll light our 35-foot tall Christmas tree. In that also we have a Christmas celebration service, so it's really cool. We're going to end up, we've got 8 school choruses and choirs participating, so about 330 kids. The Voices of Life Church will be there. Jenny Lee, country music singer from Nashville, CMT's Nashville, she's going to be performing. Santa will be there. We do the tree lighting, and then we have the celebration service with about 25 churches participating. Many of them, that will be their Sunday night service. They're having their folks come to that. Several churches will be handing out hot chocolate that night.
Wow.
So it's a lot of fun. It's one of those, the first year we had got elected in August, had tree lighting. It was at the CPAC. There was probably 100 people there, and I said,
got to do something better.
Yeah, well, literally, God put it on my heart. It should be more than a tree lighting, and then that's kind of when it all came about and grew. And last year we had estimates between 5,000 and 6,000 people in the park.
Unbelievable. And
it's really neat too. It's kind of become a community thing, just like you do the tree at the courthouse, and that's lit. That becomes on that night as well.
Right.
We were able to add this year. We always budget for some money for Christmas in the park. We added cool snowflakes, and you partnered with us on that, and we were able to do twice as many. So around the courthouse and down Broad Street, the LED snowflake lights, and we hope to continue to add that.
Yes.
Brings back memories. We used to have things on the light poles here. They went away, so we were able to add that back. We've got other things going on in the park too. We try to add something new each year, some cool features in that. But again, it's one of those literally like a Hallmark movie moment. People talk about it, how neat it is to feel you sing along, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's coming together as a community, and
yes.
It's been very well received. And I think again, it's one of those things that people were looking for, something to come together with your fellow citizens in the community and enjoy a great night. Forget all the
in the world and
tough things at work,
right.
family, all those kind of things, and come together.
And we have fireworks too.
Oh yes.
Surprised a couple of years ago with that, and so we've continued that on. So we'll have about a 3-minute fireworks show, and pretty neat. And then again, December 13th to the 26th this year, we're going to have a carousel in the park.
Talk about that. That's new, right?
It is. We had been doing something after Christmas with rides or slides or ice, synthetic ice skating, but thought we'd try something different this year. We're contracted with a company to do a carousel, so it'll be in the park right behind the History Museum, and the Santa house will be there. Santa will be there 6 different times for 3 hours each time. And the carousel will be free, and it's underwritten by our sponsors. And I've got to say something real quickly about them, and so appreciative. Obviously, Putnam County and the city in partnership, Better Cookeville, and then Nissan of Cookeville and Cash Express and Cookeville Regional Medical Center, Averett, Twin Lakes, Rogers Group, Real Estate Professionals of Tennessee, First National Bank, Vulcan Materials, Publix, and McGriff Insurance. They've all partnered with us financially to support this, to make that possible, the fireworks possible, and they even help. Part of that's in the parade too,
yes.
which you head up. You've done a great job of chairing that parade and growing it back to something that we can all be proud of, and appreciate all your efforts on that. And so that really we've got like a whole month long celebration of Christmas.
Yeah, and it was all a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
All these sponsors, city, county, all of us coming together. So we got Christmas in the park Sunday night, starting at 6 p.m.
6 to 7.
Then we follow that up with the Christmas parade on
Right.
December the 8th at
Next
6
Saturday
p.m.
night,
Then you got the carousel, free carousel that's
Right.
going to be at the park starting the 13th. Movies in the park.
We're going to have a double feature on the inflatable screen in the amphitheater, Polar Express, and The Grinch.
And all free.
Yes.
I mean, that's unbelievable for our community.
Again, all underwritten by people who believe in what we're doing. And
our local companies and
Exactly.
sponsors that are willing
That
to
are
do
making it
that.
possible.
Well, that is absolutely great. I know everyone's looking forward to it. All we need is some great weather. We've had.
And it looks like tomorrow night's going to be great.
I think it is too.
Looks like 65 maybe tomorrow, and then by the time we start this, maybe it'll be in the high 50s or whatever. So that's going to be great.
Compared to some previous years, very good weather.
I've stood out there in the drizzling, snowy rain, and I'm very thankful for it. Hopefully, going to be warm.
We hope so. Those are all going to be great. We got a little segment in the show called I'd Like to Know. And when I ask you these questions, there's about 5 of them. Just whatever the first thing pops into your head is, nothing bad. What's your favorite song?
I literally, I don't necessarily have a favorite song.
What's your genre? Do you?
I like country.
You like country music?
Yeah, I like
Great.
country music.
Do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Well, a Christmas movie, I love Buddy the Elf.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's great. What's your favorite food?
Chocolate pie.
Chocolate pie. Ooh.
Iron skillet chocolate pie, too.
Meringue or not?
No big deal. It's just a waste. It's kind of a waste.
Hey, me too. Yeah.
Put some more crust on top.
Hey, I agree with that 100%. Hardest part of being mayor?
The time of trying to make sure that that we do it right. And I'll say this, because I take things very personal and try to do what I think's always right. Sometimes you get some criticisms for things.
Yeah.
That it's hard not to take that personal, even though as long as I can look in the mirror and lay my head down and know that I've done the right thing, it's still.
Have to have a little bit of thick skin.
You do.
We do.
You do.
We do. If you couldn't live in Cookeville, where would you live?
The beach.
The beach.
Yeah.
I always thought Bangham would be where I was going to live. But
That's
that's where I live anyway.
Yeah.
We're talking to Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton this morning here on Today in Putnam County. Social media, we'll talk about it just a little bit. We started
At the same time.
Yep, we started our Facebook. You were ahead of me on your personal Facebook, but we started our elected position Facebooks at the same time. Did you ever dream that social media would turn into what it has and we would have the number of followers? I know I have over 30,000. You're ahead of me by about 1,000 or so. So
I mean, it's crazy, and I guess, and you probably the same way, you get more comments about the people are appreciative that we share the information, that timely, and that it's current stuff, and it's really become a phenomenon, really.
Unbelievable. And I get the same thing of the folks that they look to those Facebook pages to get their news,
Yes.
events, all the great things happening in our community, and we're glad that you do. And if you don't follow us on Facebook,
Yeah.
Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton has his own page. Mine's Putnam County, Tennessee. We'd love to have you as a follower. We're talking to Cookeville Mayor Shelton today. We've been going over the Christmas in the Park, the Christmas parade, all the Christmas events, carousel, movies in the park, all the great things that are happening. We're going to continue our conversation and talk a little bit about the future of Cookeville coming up here in just a moment. You're listening to Today in Putnam County on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub. I'm Randy Porter, your host. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, Randy Porter, and we're talking to Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton today. Mayor, we've been talking about all the great things happening in Cookeville, all the Christmas events and so forth. Let's talk just a little bit about the future of Cookeville. I've said that we saw about 10 years worth of progress in 4 years.
Yep.
You agree with that?
I do. I think so, and I think the word that you have to use to characterize has been partnership.
Teamwork.
Teamwork between the city and the county, between the city, the county, and Tech and the chamber, and all of us working together. I don't know that it's ever been that great of a work. Not that it hasn't been good in the past, but I don't think it's ever been so good that everybody working together, going in a common direction, which is trying to make us better.
And the one thing I keep saying is we don't need to take that for granted.
No.
We're very blessed for that to have all that teamwork with all those people coming to the table and we're all going the same direction. Lots of places don't have that.
No.
We witnessed one, didn't we?
We witnessed it for the TSSAA. City and the county couldn't even be in the same room together.
Wouldn't even ride in the same vehicle coming down. And we won't name the place that we're talking about, but when we were looking to bring the TSSAA playoffs back here for another 4 years, we saw that, and because we win as a team, we won that bid to bring it back.
Yeah.
So we have great teamwork. When you start looking at Academy Sports, Ficosa, Automation Tool, Colorobia, SAIC, all the new companies coming to Cookeville and Putnam County.
And existing, expanding.
Is it?
ATC,
Yes.
DACO, TriStar, Oric.
all the local expansion along that with it, all the new jobs, all the new retails we've had. I felt like I've spent more time with you and I have my wife the last few weeks with all the ribbon cuttings that we have had. Panera Bread, Chipotle,
Panda Express.
You just keep naming them, and it's unbelievable. And I had someone tell me today, driving through Cookeville now, it's unbelievable at the choices that we have.
Yeah.
With all that being said, looking at the future of Cookeville, what do you see?
Well, a couple of things, and to reiterate what you were saying, 3,400 new jobs in the past 4 years, and historically low unemployment rate, and historically high sales tax revenue. All those are great things. We've gotten a lot of new retail and restaurant and shopping, but we never want to lose sight of what makes Cookeville great, and that's this downtown corridor of the courthouse and Dogwood and West Side and all that, and the growth that's happened there. The interesting boutiques and the restaurants and the breweries and the proposed hotel convention center and all those kind of things that are going to continue to solidify that area. And we always got to be cognizant of that, because to me that's part of the quality of life part. And anybody that comes here always drives downtown. They want to see what your downtown looks like. If you don't take care of that, then your other probably isn't either. So we want to do that. But I think we're going to. The secret's out. We're going to continue to grow.
Right.
And so it's incumbent upon us as elected officials to make sure that we do what we can to help direct that growth the way we want it to. And part of that is our downtown, keeping that like we want it. And then part of it is continuing to work on our infrastructure, our roads, and working with the state. We have 4 state highways right here through our middle of our town. We have to ask them and work with them and request them to do things, and that's an extremely slow process and an extremely aggravating, difficult process because it takes so long. We've been advocating for Willow Avenue widening for more than 20 years. Now it's finally been funded, but it's going to be another 8 or 9 years before it's
actually happens. Yes.
And so that is the problem, when you've got those 4 highways coming into town. And so part of the stuff of getting people in here, we don't even control how to fix it. Now inside, that we can do things to our synchronization of our traffic lights and things like that we're working on, and we are working on them. And it's not, but just understand it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of time. But we have started the process. I think that's part of the problem, is things hadn't been started. So we're trying to, as you said, 10 years worth of stuff in 4. We got to do the same thing with our roads and infrastructure.
Absolutely.
To try to get that ready for the next 5-10 years.
I think the future looks bright for both Cookeville and Putnam County. Mayor, you're doing a great job.
You are too.
I enjoy the friendship and working together with you as a team. We've been talking to Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton this morning. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.